Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. I am RoyalMixGaming, and in today's video we're going to go over the new crystal tech that they just came out with the newest update. I'm going to kind of show you some things that I've kind of noticed with it and just kind of review it overall. So for the new crystal tech, this is my restart account. We are in KVK in 2293. It is my free-to-play crystal tech account. The only thing I get on this account is the gem supply so that I can finally get my castle to 25. Once that's over, I probably won't even buy anything like that. But for the crystal tech, we're going to go ahead and just show you basically what the crystal tech has changed to, some of the things that I've gotten to in the first 2 days that I've been here, kind of show you what are my thoughts on it and things like that. So start off with trees and stuff. Basically everything's been kind of the same, other than they've kind of moved around where these different techs are going to be. Also updating the plunder and Kari Rock's gifts depending on what they're going to be giving you. So the Barbarian reports and the Kari Rock reports does the same thing as it did last time. It's going to give you more additional damage to barbs or Kari Rocks. And then the plunder is going to give you more crystal earned from barbs and barbarian forts. This will go for the number 1 all the way up to 5%. There is a number 2 that I believe goes all the way up to something like 25% or 5% or 10%, something like that. It is actually 20% for the second one, so you get a total of 25% more crystal earned from barbs and barb forts. I think that's just okay. The amounts you get from barbs in general is only around 400, so 25% more of that is really not that much more. It's really not. It is more than nothing, but it is, I would say they need to double it instead of doing what they've been doing, because 25% is just kind of like just a little. It's not enough in my opinion, especially when I have to go back and do all these other things before it, because they're adding a lot of prerequisites to all these other different technologies. So I remember before you could probably go through and get all these to 1 and things like that, which I probably still could, but having the crystal obviously is not spending on this account. I don't. So I've been trying to focus on the beginning of the tree so that I can get this plunder up, basically, and trying to get some of this other Kari Rocks stuff up, because there are things that I need to have. And since I've been trying to focus on that, it's hard for me to kind of push into the last part of this tree and kind of show you that kind of stuff. But I know that they've been putting a lot more prerequisites on all of the stuff down at the end of the tree. But just kind of show you what the end of the tree is going to look like in case you need to know, where's improved morale, where's all this other stuff. Surprise Strike is new. It's 10% all damage to swarming rallies and garrisons. Don't like that. It's already bad enough they have 10% all damage for overall. Adding another 10% to swarming something is just overkill. But we'll see how it goes. In this KVK, you'll see a lot of swarming because I plan to try to live stream this KVK. I've kind of figured out my issues, and as long as I am basically able to, I will stream this KVK next Wednesday at probably around 21 UTCs, when I can probably go live, something like that. So for the rest of this tech tree, there's a lot of prerequisites going on here, and I just kind of want to talk about the beginning of the tree, mostly because this is a free-to-play account, so I can kind of show you kind of what I've been dealing with and things like that. So I basically have to get all these to 5 at the very beginning to be able to get some of this other stuff done, to be able to get the plunder up to 5, to be able to get this up to 5. I have to basically max this stuff out, which wouldn't surprise me if I have to get all the first ones to 5. And it's just a lot of extra prerequisites in this tree for all this different stuff. The Kari Rock's gifts going to give you up to 35% crystal gain, speed increase, and then this plunder, like I was saying, 5% and 20% for the other one. For the second one on the Kari Rock reports, gift is going to be up to 65% more crystal speed gain. However, the crystal speed gain isn't really, as far as I can tell, on your actual crystal mine. From what I've been kind of seeing, it's based on a couple different things. It's going to be right here, the crystal gain per hour. 1655 is what I have, 1665, whatever, is what I have per hour. Now, something they don't really tell you, and this is something I didn't know because I am just starting this KVK, it's new. They don't really tell you that you have to click the little thing right there, the little, wagon, to get the crystal that you get per hour. I assumed, hey, you're increasing my crystal gain per hour, that's going to go on my crystal mine. No, it goes right there at 1665 an hour based on this reports here. And I'm assuming that the 65% and the other 20% or whatever it was applies to this. Could it apply to the crystal mine? It might, but I'm not seeing it here. So I'm assuming it applies to the Cairo-X report, where it increases your crystal speed per gain based on that, and not from other stuff like the mine speed. And that's kind of something I don't really think is necessarily, I mean, it's probably the same amount maybe, but I don't know based on the percentages what the difference would be if you had it the other way around. So that's one of my issues with this, is basically having so many prerequisites to get stuff is very difficult, especially for free-to-play. I'm not really enjoying that, because when you have a lot of basically prerequisites for stuff, it's basically going to harm the people that spend less. So when you spend less, you have to get all the prerequisites for something else, when a spender can go much further. Yes, they have more prerequisites too, but you can get through those by spending. Which is one of my issues with this, is my main issue with this is just the amount of prerequisites kind of harms everybody, and it doesn't really harm the spenders necessarily, since they're going to max it mostly anyways. It harms the much lower spenders overall. So basically the crystal gain speed and the plunder for this with barbs is okay. It is extra crystal. It's great to get extra crystal, but I think they could do better. Obviously, they want you to spend, so I can understand why they're not. But having a lot of prerequisites for other stuff is just going to harm the free-to-play and low spenders in these KVKs, because it's going to be harder for you to get to anything because you have to have all these other things to 5. So that is basically the main things that I've kind of noticed from the new crystal tech. Also from, your Kahars. When you summon a Kahar, they basically, I think they increased it by like 50%, something like that. Because it used to be like 30,000 for your main Kahars when you did Kahars, and I think now it's something closer to like 40,000, 45,000 whenever you have no tech for that. So they've increased it some, 20%, whatever it may be, which is nice. So I think the max you can get is up to 90,000 per Kahar, which is pretty good. So they increased it from like 60,000 to 90,000. So, they did increase it some. So that's nice. It is nice that they're trying to add some things to increase the crystal gain for everybody. But adding a lot of prerequisites harms a lot of people overall. I don't really like that very much. So that's the main things that I've kind of seen from the new crystal tech. There's nothing new in the shop. There's not really anything else new. It's mostly just you have to remember every couple hours to collect that, which is a problem, and I think they should add a different way or a different screen for that, or even just give it to us in a different way, because that's not very clear, and I don't enjoy that, because I didn't know that until somebody pointed it out. The Kalkrok has also changed a little bit, because you basically get different bosses on these levels that you've been doing. So every like 5 levels you get a different boss, and these bosses are a little bit more like Soroli bosses now. So it's still just about as easy, because there's a free-to-play account on this one for Crystal Tech. I was able to get through it with a 25% expansion with, very minimal commanders and minimal stuff. My commanders were not that great. I did have to try a little bit harder, obviously, because I don't have T5 and things like that. But I could get through the easy mode so far, and it's okay. I think that they reduced the crystal overall somewhere, though, to make up for the more you get per hour, because I don't think it's the same amounts. I could be wrong, but I think it's not the same amounts when you go in here and get the reports for the crystals per Kalkarok. I feel like they reduced this some. I can't prove it necessarily unless somebody else does, because I feel like level 30 on easy gave more than 70,000 last time. I can't prove it because I don't have the reports from my easy on my other accounts, but if you guys want to try and prove that, I could be wrong, but I feel like they reduced it some. I could very well be wrong, but thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something about the new crystal tech. They basically increased the crystal tech, added a lot of prerequisites to harm, I would say, the lower spenders, because you can't get the stuff as easily, and it's going to have a little bit more of an impact, I would say, probably later to mid KVK, because people have to do so much more before that the spenders are going to have the tech that they need extra, when the lowered spenders in free-to-play are not going to have that as easily. So hope you guys learned something from this video, and I'll see you on the next one.